What's up, everybody? This is going to be the second video in the ClickUp series of how to use it in a practical sense. This video is going to go over mainly how to make sure you have the proper structure and also knowledge of ClickUp to move forward most efficiently, right? So we're going to go over things such as how to use your calendar in ClickUp, meaning how to sync it. They do have a two-way sync option, meaning that you either can include your Google Events or Apple or Outlook in ClickUp, or actually make it where your tasks from ClickUp show up in your calendar itself. That's pretty cool. Then we're going to go over how to make recurring tasks in ClickUp because mainly, let's say you have a team and their workload is pretty repetitive. Instead of you having to create the outline, the subject, the comments, all that every single time they complete it, you can actually make a structure one time, set up as recurring with some specific features or even details, and then like clockwork, whether it's daily, weekly, they will see that task all over again without you making it all over again yourself to be completed by them. Pretty useful, and of course, it saves time. Number three, we want to get into the automations within ClickUp and why I do not want you to use it because there's a better alternative, which I'm going to go over as well. And then lastly, the notifications, which this is to make sure that you're actually sane while using ClickUp because it can get very overwhelming very quickly when it comes to getting notified via email and stuff like that for all the different things that happen in ClickUp. So let's get right into it. First things first, I'm going to have to move my actual screen over a little bit because you can't see the option for your settings. So right here, you can see in the bottom left hand corner, if you come over, you can click on here, click on settings, it'll bring you to the screen, which is going to be very useful. We'll be coming back here shortly. And scroll down, click on calendar, and then from there, you can now click on add account. Let's move this back over for you. So when you click add account, you'll see, oh, before I even do that, you'll see that you have the options of only Google and Apple or Outlook, like I said beforehand. Click on add account for Google for myself. It sounds weird every time I say it now. I keep saying Google, but it sounds like I'm saying goggle sometimes, whatever. So I'm gonna do sync events to ClickUp so you guys can actually see some of my calendar stuff, whatever. Don't judge me. And we're gonna press next. I'm gonna select an account. Right now, it's gonna show that you can connect a new account. I'm gonna pause the screen real quick just to add my account in. And if you already signed into Google, it'll just allow you to click the actual option. You can sign right in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. So once you have it signed in already and you press next after you select that specific account, it'll show you the screen. It'll show you how to actually see the view with your calendar. And you can press got it. And then you'll go ahead and go back. And then from here, now you can, of course, click on view, select calendar, press add view, and it'll show, of course, some of your actual information and details from your calendar, right? So aside from that, we'll go ahead and now remove this view by clicking the three dots, click on delete. You now see how you can sync it together, which is pretty cool. Play around with that a little bit because you can now go ahead through either the ClickUp way, where you're putting your task into your calendar, or taking your calendar and showing it in ClickUp. And I do that because number one, it kind of gives you that whole like this is my home base kind of feeling when it comes to like knowing what I have to do for life in general. Like if I have a meeting coming up, I can just click in around and ClickUp and see it real quick. So just get used to it. Now we're gonna go for the recurring task, and I don't like how this is so zoomed in. Let me go ahead and make it where you guys can see it easier if you don't. But if I scroll down right, I can see that I have a task for review competitor videos weekly, right? So in here, you can come in, click on the little calendar looking icon. And when you do that, you can see that it has an option for set reoccurring. So when you click on that, you now have the option, of course, of making it recur weekly, and of course, on when closed, when done, or on schedule. When you hover your mouse over it, it shows you specifically what it means in every single aspect of that option, or only options it has. So that's cool. I normally have mine for weekly because daily gets kind of crazy, and I don't think I have anything where they're doing daily because sometimes the actual task takes weeks, or a week. So say you put it for weekly, right? Like every Monday they have this specific task to do. You can come here and then of course put in when closed. I'm gonna do when closed because I don't technically make other statuses for when it's complete. When closed is an actual default option that has within every single folder and list and stuff like that. And you'll see that right here if I click update status 2, it has to do in SOP or in progress. Those are my only options. I don't have another one for basically when it's done. So when you do that, you can press create a new task, and then you can also choose an option and see what details you want included within that task. Because what ClickUp does well is it actually tracks a lot of information on different tasks, right? But you don't want to have, for example, a conversation from the previous week about that specific topic and the next week because it won't be relevant, right? So stuff like that, I say, hey, I'm going to actually take off comments and comment attachments because technically comments, the way I use it is for when I'm actually making a suggestion or conversing with one of my teammates in regards to the actual task itself. Now, if that task is about, for example, how to make a ClickUp video and added details, I don't want to have that same comment conversation in the next week one, which may be about how to use ClickUp for a nonprofit organization, for example, right? It wouldn't be too useful. So you can remove that and other things that you find won't be as useful over time. You don't have to everything. You don't have to have everything figured out up front, everybody. So keep that in mind. As you see what works for your organization and also your team, however it's going to be used on your own practical sense, you can then start adjusting it. I'm just showing you where everything is at and also kind of giving a slight perspective so it can make your brain start thinking of creative ways to use it yourself. Press save, and then you can press save after that, or unless you want to update the status, which technically I say no, because if I'm making it when it's closed, I don't want to have where I update the status as well of that specific task. It's already enclosed. So you can see right here, if you hover your mouse over, it says when this task recurs, we'll automatically change the status to this. So you can put in progress, but I like for my agents to do that themselves so they can kind of let me know also that they're getting started on it too. So remove that, press save, and then you're good to go. Now, aside from that, we have the option as well where you can look into automations. Now, automations is kind of everywhere. There's different ways to find it. You have it here in the top right-hand corner. You can do with customize your actual space and automate that. Also, your statuses, custom fields. I haven't used that too much because I don't use the automate feature within ClickUp by itself. But there is an option if you go over again, and you can do it by a folder, by a list, whatever you want. I typically do it by space, but it also depends on the use case. So let's say I want to make it where whenever my agents complete, what is it? Review competitor videos weekly. So let's say I want to make it for a specific task, right? Instead of going to folders, I'll come to that task right here. Click on, where's it at? It should be under settings. Oh, it doesn't let me do it here. Okay, I'll go by walkthrough. And where's it at? The settings, automations, add automation. Then I'm going to come over here and say, keep it on status changes from any to closed. And I'm going to put move to list. I'll tell you why, what's my thought process. So my thought process is whenever an actual list item itself, specifically that one I had in mind, which is review competitor videos weekly, I want that whenever it's set to complete, technically closed, it will move that list to the script option under that same space, because then my script writer is going to go ahead and make a script for that specific video, right? Now, with that being said, here's why I do not like it. And I'm going to give you one of the options right now by just showing you. If I click add action, I have to actually upgrade to business $12 a month. I can't talk, I don't know why. For me to actually go ahead and use this, right? Or make another action. While the alternative is using Zapier, because in most cases, if you're going to be a systems integrator, you're going to be using Zapier already for your business or your client's business. And that allows you to do automations with a whole bunch of thousands of companies rather than just, of course, ClickUp itself. And ClickUp is also in Zapier as well. So it makes it a lot easier because then you can do multi-steps without having to pay more money. Now, on top of that, you can see that another restriction or limitation of the internal automation option is that I can't make it specific to one list. When I have any, that means if any specific item within that folder or that list itself has a status change, that means it's going to go to the holding place for my script folder. I don't want that. I want that one task which is recurring, and that's going to be the watch competitor videos weekly. I want that one to be the one that actually is taken and moved on to another folder, right? I don't want everything being too, you know, clogged up or just cluttered essentially. That's why I don't use it, but I just want to kind of show you guys so you know where it's at in case you find a better use of it. And also if you're just more knowledgeable about it, right? I didn't use it honestly because I didn't give it really of a chance. And when I saw that I had the feature, I was looking into it a little bit, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna work for me. I'm already too deep into Zapier, so I use Zapier. And the last thing is gonna be showing, of course, how you can adjust your notifications. So if you come over here, um, click on this, and then click on settings, and you can go to notifications. You can then come in here and of course adjust your actual notifications. So you can see whenever I create a subtask or task, you want to be added as a watcher. I keep that as yes. I really didn't adjust my settings too much for this one because it's like a personal use case ClickUp. But for the work one I have, I definitely adjusted my own personal email connection. But you see here, you can come over and basically check off what you don't want to be notified about. And it goes all the way down to the bottom right here. All these other things too, you can adjust them as well and basically make it so you're not being overwhelmed by different notifications. And that's it, everybody. It's pretty simple. I don't want to make this video too long because I'm going to ramble and also stumble over my words, of course. What's up, everybody? I forgot one important thing, and that is, of course, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have what you would call a task tray. I just kind of call it like my favorites. So essentially, you can come in here and basically pin different features and actions to this bottom right-hand corner to have it, of course, easily accessible whenever you need it, and it follows you on your screen, basically. Typically, it's on the home screen, I believe. But so say I want to, of course, make recording or just record clips for tutorials for my team. Like I want to show them how to use ClickUp, so I made an actual space that said how to use ClickUp, and then in each folder I had different items of specifically how ClickUp works, and then in those actual folders we had list items, and I have videos from just recording my screen inside of those actual tasks or lists, you could say. So that's pretty cool. I'll show you. It'll show like, of course, some options. Notepad is my bread and butter, and then calendar. So from here, you can choose how you're, of course, going to navigate ClickUp and how you're going to use it. But I would say best use cases for the recording clips is kind of like how I explained it. That's the only time I used it for myself. When I got into my actual team with my client, I ended up creating an actual like space that said how to use ClickUp, and I basically said onboarding. And I gave everybody a list, but the list was their name. And then each specific name, I just copied and duplicated the trainings into them, which is why it wasn't the most efficient. But by doing so, I just recorded the actual clip of what I want to do in ClickUp and then just copy and paste it into every single actual list, which is for a specific person, going over the steps as well. So that's pretty cool. You can see right here, if you click record clip, it'll show you your screens, and then you go in here and of course select the one that you want to record. Notepad, you can go in here and just, of course, create a note. So let's say I want to say how to use ClickUp video. I find myself using like the MacBook Note item because it also is on my phone and it correlates and talks to each other, so I can just kind of add notes to it if I'm on the road, or also pull it up on my laptop. But if you want to use it on ClickUp, you can do this as well, where you kind of say like, you know, let's do like a heading, first part, and then you come in here and you can go put your bullet points. So you can say go over hierarchy. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Don't judge me, everybody. And come over here and say, you know, go over added features. And come in here and say like, you know, / command. And etc. You know, you go over like the task tray, boom. And then before you know it, you can, of course, just kind of outline your actual video topic within ClickUp, which is pretty cool as well. I probably wouldn't do it through here. I'll probably just make a task and then make the task my notes, but I'm just kind of giving you ideas. So with that being said, there's so many ways to use ClickUp, and I would say my videos are basically really the bottom, I would say, and I'm gonna be completely honest. The reason why I want to kind of tell you guys that is because what I also learned helps me understand an actual platform better is by explaining it, essentially, right? So some may say, like, when you try to teach somebody something, you learn it even better because you have to know step by step the actual outcomes, but along with that, also the different variables that could affect those outcomes. And when you know that, you truly learn an actual platform, a software, a skill set, whatever it's going to be, in a way that's better than just, of course, doing it yourself. So that's one thing. And also, when you go through the process of talking about it, you learn certain things that you didn't know, and also things that may have been, of course, a better option than when you first saw it yourself. So this is also kind of like not a practical walkthrough, but more of an accountability thing for me to record these videos and show you what I know. But I know when I actually get down to the point where I understand it inside and out, I'll create, of course, a more, I guess you could say, appealing video for you guys. And you'll see the difference of this one now. And I'll show this one, of course, later when I create my new updated version. That way we can go through the whole walkthrough. But just want to throw this in because I forgot it. I think it's very important. But if you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know. And I'll be here to help.